Hey everyone, Quality Shot Tennis coming at you live from Wimbledon Day 4. Nothing's actually happened today that shocked us. Joking. Everything has happened today that has shocked us even more. We thought the sort of seeds falling out would have stopped at a certain point. Definitely not. But before we get into anything, this podcast is sponsored by Nick Rivet Sport. Please check out their website out in the description below for online racket demos and all things tennis equipment. We're going to be doing a quick episode of the podcast today because the media center is closing down and matches have been suspended, and all the interviews are finished, so everyone is heading home, so we have a very short time to do it. So this pod will be more of a lengthened normal YouTube video, just audio wise. Anthony, quickly run me through today. Who have you interviewed and who did you enjoy interviewing the most so far today?
To me, it was Marin Cilic again. She is just awesome to talk to every single time. Very down to earth. I asked her what does she feel more, loving to win or hating to lose, and she was actually quite stumped. And she said that you need something in between. So I thought that was quite an interesting one.
Yeah, that was interesting. I think it's a question that you want to ask these players because some of them have the mentality of, the wins are much higher than the losses in terms of their emotions, but a lot of the times and most of the time the losses feel worse than, you can win a huge tournament like a slam and it feels great, but then you can lose a really, really tough match that you wanted to win so bad and it can feel 10 times worse on the opposite side of the spectrum.
Absolutely.
In my day so far today, interviewed Jack Draper, Igor Swiatek, and then Marin Cilic. Jack was very down from his loss to Marin, and I'll touch upon Marin in a second, but you could tell he's gone out in back-to-back slams against two players who really just played like 10 out of 10 against him, and there wasn't really much he could do. Maybe it's one of those same situations that we've seen with, Yannick Sinner earlier in his career, that the fact is, Jack has such a great game, but his shots can be quite similar time over time over time, that in a sense that players like Cilic, if they find their rhythm and they sort of understand, okay, where do I need to be positioned in terms of my footwork, and what height am I trying to hit the ball at, and he finds that consistently, he'll find a rhythm and he will get himself some very good looks, and that's exactly what he did today. He was hitting the ball extremely clean, and he really took the match away from Jack. Jack was saying that he really couldn't do anything. He didn't have the time. He felt rushed. And then when I spoke to Marin was saying, I asked him how does he feel about his progress since he made his return last year in Mallorca in August, and he said, what I've been trying to add bit by bit is get myself into those match situations of like, these break points, these tight points, these deuces, these 30-40s. Sometimes some shots aren't working, so trying to alternate and find what's working for you. And it seemed like everything clicked today so far.
Yeah, he was playing with a lot of confidence. He was taking the ball on early forehand serve. Marin Cilic. Draper was playing way too tentatively, especially in the big points. He was hitting down the middle quite a bit as well. And I think what you say is accurate. I mean, he needs to add variety into his game. There's no doubt about it, to make himself more unpredictable. And it's two back-to-back disappointing losses for Draper to Bublik at French Open, then to Cilic at Wimbledon. And listen, I mean, both Bublik and Cilic are players that can be can have losses. You can have losses to them that are understandable on a given day or a given surface, but on the days where he lost to him, Bublik on clay, Cilic at 36 years old, it's like Cilic is playing amazing, but it's not a loss Draper wants to have on grass, no doubt.
No, exactly. Speaking of other players in the draw today who've succeeded or not succeeded, I mean, Swiatek came through. She had a tough first set loss, the fact that she was up 4-1 in that set, and it was really one of those ones where I asked her, what do you think happened? She's like, I just lost the momentum and I lost the intensity in that, and then she found her rhythm again, so that really helped. Novak Djokovic completely cruised through Dan Evans, which was very impressive. Yannick Sinner, we've just finished interviewing now. He was very much happy with the way he played. I think he knew that these are the matches that he needs to be playing so early on in this tournament just to get himself through, especially with all these seeds falling out. Rybakina completely handled Sakari extremely well. and you interviewed her, Sakari. Actually, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I got to watch most of that match also on Court One, and it was actually quite straightforward of a match because Sakari did not serve well, and also Rybakina completely dominated the baseline rallies. In the interview, Rybakina was quite content with the win, but also it didn't seem like she was particularly phased in a positive or a negative way. It was just for lack of a better words, it was a fairly straightforward, easy win for her today, honestly, over Sakari. And Sakari also, in my interview with her, admitted grass is not her favorite surface. Helena is a tough player. We move on to the hard courts, and I'm actually interested to see what Sakari does on the hard courts. But her form isn't great going in. But Sakari was really nice to talk to. She was quite funny. And in the end of the interview, somebody asked her about Sabalenka being quite a sort or being quite negative with her comments towards Goff in the final when she lost that match, and I tagged, and she said that it's quite tough to speak right after losing. I tagged on and said, yeah, it would be nice if you could come back 3 days later and then address the crowd. Then that might be the ideal situation. Yeah, exactly. And I got the laugh out of everybody out of the room, which was nice. But yeah, Sakari was cool to talk to, and she'll be better on the hard courts, I think.
Yeah, Alex de Minaur cruised through his match. Krejcikova managed to fend off a second set loss against Dolhide. Yeah, I mean, the real upsets, I would say, other than that of the day was Tommy Paul losing to Sebastian Offner. Mahac lost to Holmgren, but it's not really something that, anyone's going to be writing home about. Felix Auger-Aliassime lost to Jan-Lennard Struff, but Struff, on grass is a tough player to handle. We've seen him, before in the past having success on the grass courts. Looking up at tomorrow's matches, we have an order of play that provides some entertainment. Obviously, you've got Struff against Alcaraz, you've got Sabalenka against Raducanu, you've got Shelton and Hijikata still need to finish, which was the dumbest decision in terms of, not the dumbest, but very weird decision. The fact that, they stopped a match at 5-4 in the third where Shelton was serving for it. But I think the other interesting match of the day tomorrow is Jarry versus Fonseca. So I've given you 3 matches, Anthony. Which one's your favourite between Struff, Alcaraz, Sabalenka, Raducanu, and Jarry Fonseca?
Sabalenka, Raducanu. I think that I'm not always the person to put Raducanu popcorn when everybody else is doing it, but I'd actually give her a chance against Sabalenka because she was playing quite well, and I think that's my match of the day.
Perfect. I'm going to go for Jarry and Fonseca. I think the South American crowd is going to be going crazy on both sides there. I've heard the Brazilian fans here so far. I've heard the Chilean fans here so far as well. It's going to be a battle out there. But listen, guys, we don't have actually much time. We are going to be kicked off the grounds in any second. So we have to close off this mini podcast for you guys. We had a great day. We will post everything onto the channel, the Instagram, and the TikTok, so please make sure to check out all of our interviews there. And tomorrow we'll be back, hopefully, with a longer podcast. Depends on how the day goes. It really depends on how these matches, how long they go, and what time the last interview is, and how much time we have in between. But with that, thank you guys so much for listening. It's been a great day so far, and speak to you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.